Hey everybody, remember this channel has been shadow banned by YouTube for quite some time. So if you want to keep up with my hijinks or you just don't want to miss out on a chance to call me a slur when I say something stupid, make sure you subscribe to my channel and go over to my channel page and turn on notifications. There's a link in the upper corner of this video where you can do just that. I am a grown-ass man. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the America Guns and Freedom podcast. This is just an open chat where you all can ask me whatever questions you want to ask. Doesn't even have to be gun related, just whatever's on your mind, let me know. If you do ask me a question, maybe that's a more technical question and I don't know the answer, pay attention to the live chat. There's probably somebody over there that does know the answer. So pay attention to the live chat, actually participate in the live chat, build some community. That's one of the reasons we do this every day. So people have a place to come every day for a little while and talk with like-minded individuals about common interest and maybe grill me about something. So feel free to do so. I like to start off by reading all the orders we've gotten over the last 24 hours for merchandise, like the All 9 Lives Matter shirt here. You know, the little kitty with their gun there. That's Maisie, by the way. But we didn't get any orders over the last 24 hours, so I can't do that. So I'll start off with the normal spiel that if you want to become a channel supporter, please go over to TYMPpistolproject.com. Go on over there. You can either buy merchandise. There's a link to my Shopify page, and there's all kinds of designs over there. Or you can join Patreon and become a Patreon supporter. And there's some very cool patches and stuff you can get from certain tiers over there, including our regular badge patches and extra patches like the Mouse Guns patch. Or you can just join Subscribe Star, and there's actually a tier there. You can support pets and vets there if you want by joining the Fur Friends Defender tier, and you'll get a series of patches from that if you want to join that one. But it doesn't matter how you choose to support the channel. You're supporting this channel and the things we try to do. You're supporting TYMPP. You're supporting the Pets and Vets program. You're supporting the Voices program, where we spend money every month trying to keep other YouTube gun channels online. Whether I like them or not, we need their voices online. So we do that. And we also do the friend program, where we do a drawing every month and someone gets a gift certificate to the place of their choice, up to $800, depending on what they choose. So we're doing that drawing tonight. As a matter of fact, we do it on the usually do it on the 5th of every month, but I wasn't prepared yesterday, so we're doing it tonight. With that being said, let me get over here and see if there's any questions coming in. We got a statement coming in. It's not really a question, from Jason Thompson. And he said, I should be a politician, but I doubt cops would even like my raunchy Bubba jokes because I would totally push forward a bill requiring them to go to Gen Pop. No rubbers, no lube. Well, only if they commit a crime, I hope. Not just all cops go and get that done. That wouldn't be good. I mean, we need good cops. I don't think we'll get good cops if they're all going to go to Gen Pop and be sexually assaulted. I think we'd get a very specific type of new cop, which I think they'd probably be better than the ones we have. But I don't know if we should implement that for every one of them yet. It should be shouldn't be mandatory. Let's just say that. They'd have the option if they want, but not mandatory. All right, let's get back to the questions here. Sean Bain paid his $2 tithe to Phil, as well as Jason Thompson did, or Officer Tate Rader, and said, "Hail Phil, 32 ACP or 45 ACPM for an old ass man." I think he means AARP. But it depends. If you've got wrist issues, 32 is fine. I mean, get yourself a little 32 C camp or 32. Not C camp. That's for deep carry. I meant to say SIG, P230, 232. Those are awesome little 32 ACP. No, those are 380s. Well, you can still get them in the 32. If you find one. And I do believe they brought back the PPK in the 32. But 32 is a weird choice to go down to. I'd probably go down to 380. But, I mean, if you're choosing between those two, there's options in 32. Like I said, I think PPK just started making them again, didn't they? And I would probably go with that if you've got serious hand issues, wrist issues, elbow issues, shoulder issues, something like that would be more of a sustainable use for practice. Now, that doesn't mean you always have to carry something like that. I mean, carry something a little bigger when you're than what you practice with, as long as it's the same manual of arms, because shooting it once or twice in self-defense, you probably won't even feel it. You'll feel it the next day, but not when you're using it. So I'd probably say go with 45 ACP. Just shoot down some really down low. See, I changed my own mind by the end. I'd probably go with 45 ACP. There's nothing wrong with 32 ACP, but I would probably go with the 45 AARP for self-defense. Carry it with hotter loads. Practice with really watered down loads, and I think you'll be good to go. Does that make any sense? Did I make it work by the end, or what there? All right, let's get over here. That was it for the super chats for today. So let's go over here, or at least that's all we got so far. Let me see if we got any questions coming in. How many times did it take you to hit the bottle with that 9mm? First shot. I got it first shot, because I never saw that bullet again. That's for sure. Is that true? Is it true that a BB gun is more powerful than the 9? Well, it depends on what BB gun it is. And, is it a rifle or is it a pistol? Hey, is it CO2? CO2 BB pellet gun, BB gun. Now you're talking. I had one of those when I was a kid. Loved that thing. Had the pistol, little CO2. I thought I was king shit with that CO2 pistol. The only problem was I had to really ration my shots, because you didn't get a lot of shots out of each canister. And I was a poor. And I will say right now, I did steal 1 or 2 little packs of canisters as a kid, because I couldn't afford them. So it's what they say about guns leading to a life of crime is true. Because when I got that, I started stealing those little CO2 canisters from the, what do you call it? The Western Auto. Never got caught. So I was good at it, I guess. Let's see if there's any other questions coming in here. If 9mm won't pop a bottle, what's the deal about 320? You mean the SIG P320? Well, they come in 42. And they do sting if you get shot with one. I mean, bottles are resistant. We're not that resistant. See, it's sting. I mean, like I can take a switch and smack a bottle with it. It ain't going to hurt. If I smack you across the thigh, you're going to get a welt. You want a welt? Is that what you want, Mikey D? That was Mikey D that said that. Do you want a welt? Because we can arrange for you to end up with a welt. Let's see here. Are you on all chat? I switched it. I'm on live chat now. What do you think about the single action, double action striker fired? You mean like the anti-stress trigger on the Walters? That P99 AS, that's the only striker fired gun I would ever carry. Period. It is something I would carry, that striker fired gun. I thought it was a great gun, great ergonomics, great quality, and that being able to decock the striker, not held in an 80% position, because held in an 80% position, you can still, as I've shown, manipulate the internals enough to make it fire. And if that seems to be the standard now with a lot of people in the gun community, if you can do that, they're going to wet their britches and go to the other side, go to the dark side and start demonizing guns. You can still do that with a Glock. And if anybody remembers back in the day when Glock said, go, they can't fire from the 80% position. Well, if you disable the safeties, they can. The FBI showed that back in the late 80s when they were doing all the studies on them. They were like, if you break the gun, you can make it fire even from the back position. It may not happen every time, but it can happen. The safeties are what really makes it to where it can't do that. For like if it slipped off the sear at the 80% position, it can't fire because there's all the other safeties, like the plunger safety and stuff, and the trigger bar didn't activate, so it can't go off. But yeah, if you manipulate the sear, move the trigger bar, you can. I forgot what I was actually talking about. Oh, yeah, the P99, the anti-stress trigger, the AS. Yeah, that gun's awesome. I wish they'd make more of those. They need to make more. If they're going to continue with striker-fired guns, which I don't really see a reason for, I wish they'd get rid of them. Well, not all of them. I mean, you can have them as an option, but I don't like them being the go-to nowadays for guns. Since striker fires became a thing, it's like find a good hammer-fired gun. Springfield Armory put out a pretty cool little hammer-fired gun there for a while. Nobody wanted it because it wasn't striker. So yeah, but I do like that kind of striker-fired gun. Heard tourism is down 30% here. Is that just Hurricane Helena hangover, or are we feeling it out west too? Oh, no, it's everywhere. Nobody wants to come. Everybody's worried about, what if I get over there, they won't let me in and blah, 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 because they're playing all kinds of bullshit with people's visas and passports and shit. So some people are even afraid they'll come here, visit, and they'll get picked up by ICE and they'll be stuck in a detention center. Well, how likely that is, I don't know. But so, yeah, tourism is down. Money's down. Lost a lot of money. It's in the billions. I remember I was watching something on one of the clips that came out through my news feed the other day, and someone was trying to claim apparently he had gone on X, and then he was on not Fox News. What's the other one? That news network that's America First or something. I forget what it's called. But he was claiming the Trump, we may have lost, $60 billion in tourism, but Trump put $29 trillion in the national banks for into the national treasury from tariffs. And they're like, no, it was 29 billion. So it's half of what we lost in tourism, not trillion. And that money came from businesses. They pay that. So that was just a tax on businesses, mostly small businesses, because big businesses can get around those taxes. And most of the big consumer items have gotten exemptions from the tariffs. So most of that's coming from small businesses who now have to, like if you owned a print shop and you ordered your T-shirts from overseas and they cost you $4 each, well, now they cost you $7 each. And you're having to pay the tariffs too. So yeah, tourism's down, I guess was the question. Hey, Yankee Marshall, did you send my knife or do I have to pick it up? No, I'll mail all of them. The ones that have been one last week or so are sitting in there waiting to be mailed. I mailed the first 2 batches. I'm hoping to get down to town tomorrow, actually, and mail them. A sergeant in Fort Stewart in Georgia shot 5 soldiers. Well, that's not good. That's not a lot of details, but that's not good. Let's see. Did we get any more chats over here yet? Or are we got a couple more. We got Trevor Cargyle paid his $2 tithe to Phil and said, how about them thread protectors, Yank? They're still right here. I'm hoping to get them packaged up tonight too. At least they're not in my trunk of my car when it got stolen, or in my son's car and gotten lost like I thought. I accused him of that, but apparently I apparently made up a scenario in my head where I packaged them up and gave them to him. He ain't gonna let me live that down anytime soon. I tell you that. I tell you what. Jar Jar is my lover says, you guys act like a good yank behind the Denny's is a bad thing. I've never acted like that. When have I ever acted like that? I've never acted like that. A good yank behind a Denny's is, that's a good first date. As far as I'm concerned, it's a perfect end to a good first date. You get what you get and don't throw a fit. I'll throw a fit if I want. Don't tell me not to throw a fit. I'll throw a fit right now. I think everybody knows I'm more than capable. I'll throw a fit. I ain't the least bit scared to. Let's see. We got any more questions coming in here? Subaru is gone since Snuffleupagus. Where you been? You need to start paying attention. You need to catch up. Go back and watch all my videos. All my live chats. Go back and watch every one of them you missed. Or else you're not, or you don't really love me. I guess I have to play the wounded sparrow. All right, where was I here? Oh yeah, I was doing these over here. Trevor Cargyle chimed in. Then Johnny Mandrick chimed in. Remember, everybody, if you want to get an entry into the silver bullet drawing or the knife drawing, I didn't even say what knife we'd give away tonight. Let me go over here and see what I can pull out of the bucket to give away tonight. We'll give away another one of the SRKCs. These are nice. All right, I want to do this carefully so I don't cut myself. There we go. We'll be giving away one of these tonight to the winner. So if you want to get entered to win one of these, go over, donate $5 or more to Pets and Vets. If you donate $5, you get an entry into the knife drawing, and you get an entry into the silver bullet drawing, the monthly silver bullet drawing. This we give away tonight. If you do 10, you get 3 entries into this, 3 entries into the silver bullet drawing, and an entry into the double super secret Bobcat giveaway. And if you do 20, you get 3 entries into the double super secret Bobcat giveaway and 7 into both of those entries. So feel free to go over, donate via the link at the top of the chat over there. What improvements to ammo in general would you like to see? Well, I would just like to see going to using more solid copper rounds and stop using lead, because that's going to eventually bite us in the ass, catch us flat-footed. I've already seen stuff where a lot of the military groups have expressed interest in going to all lead or all copper ammo or to polymer ammos. And if they do that, we're not actually polymer, but compounds or whatever you would call them, alloys. So if we do that, if they do that and they start calling for that, it's going to catch the civilian market flat-footed, and we're going to get screwed. And they're going to end up outlawing lead ammo, and we will end up being screwed by that. I made that point years ago. People weren't capable of understanding what I was saying. Oh, hell, Phil, have you ever ridden the Empire Builder train? Well, I don't know what the Empire Builder train is. What's the Empire Builder train? You might have wanted to explain that to me first, because I don't know what that is. I have no clue. Let me get back over here, see what's going on. There aren't many details on the Georgia soldier shooting yet. It was announced he used his own handgun. You mean not one from the military? So not a P-32, P-320? Well, hell, they're going to hate that. The P-320 haters. There aren't. Oh, I read that just right now. Did you lose your Beretta hat? No, I still got my Beretta hat. I'm just wearing a Ruger hat right now. I like Ruger too. I mean, don't try to pin me down. I like Rugers too. Let's see. Did a question come in over here via the email? Let's see. Plastic Man. What did he say? Yankee, in the comic book Plastic Man No More, Patrick O'Brien, Eel O'Brien, body begins to degrade and melt after he gets blasted by a death ray. He's done that 100 times before. There's been like 100 cases of Plastic Man being disintegrated or dissolved or anything like that, or exploded into a billion pieces, but he always comes back. Now, in one situation, he laid for, I guess, hundreds of years or something on the bottom of the ocean in pieces and finally reformed himself. But he always comes back. Always, always, always. We got an email here from Michael Lewis, who said, where was it? There it is. He said, new plinker. Oh, he's got a can on it. That's dangerous. You're obviously planning on shooting somebody. Why else would you need a suppressor on it if you weren't a bad guy? You're a bad guy. I can tell. Why else would you need a suppressor? All right, let's close that. Boop. But that was Michael Lewis. Let me see how we're doing over here. Have to bounce back and forth a lot. Colin Hepburn. Wait, where am I at? I lost my place. Hold on. Here it is. I read Kevin Payton. Let me get to Robert Edwards. I don't recognize that name as much. P&V, PYV, that's Spanish. Do I speak a Spanish? ¿Cómo está? I guess I do. It sounds like Spanish to me. But that was Spanish. Clinton and Robert Edwards has no problem with self-esteem because his name's in all caps. Then we got Clinton Barella weighing in, says, would you trust Smith & Wesson Custom Shop to work on a 4566? They seem to be phoning it in on customer service here lately. Holy cow, that's a nice knife. It is a very nice knife. It's a very nice knife, especially for nothing, just for doing a little donation to Pets and Vets. I mean, you're doing something you should do anyway. Pay your tithe to Phil, support Pets and Vets, support the channel, and then you get a chance at winning something super nice like this. And did you notice I showed it without cutting myself? That's first. It ain't coming out of the sheath again tonight. Well, maybe one more time, but I'll be very careful. We will be very, very careful. The Canic TP9 double action has a decocker. Yeah, but I wouldn't carry that one because unless they changed it, the double action one on the double action, single action one, the TP9 SA or whatever it's called, or DA or something like that. Once you decocked it, it was no longer cocked. There was no double action pull. Do they have one now that has a double action pull afterwards? Like, well, once you decock it, you can still pull the trigger. Or remember the first ones you had to decock it, and then it's like with just the slightest slide movement, it's ready to go again. I'm like, well, I don't want to have. That's just carry a gun with without anything in the chamber, I guess, because all you got to do is rack the slide. So I was like, if I'm going to have to rack the slide, why do I want that? I'm like, I don't know if it's still like that or not. Do they have one that actually has a double action pull? New Plinker email sent. We saw it. Shooting at Great Lakes Naval Facility 3 hours ago. Yeah. Go Shadow beat you too. We're very short on details though, but he did beat you to it. The composite ammo sucks. Density of material is too low. Lead has density of 11.3 grams per centimeters. Whatever that 3 is. Copper is 8.96. The composite is less than that. Now they have polymer. They have composites now that are identical to lead in pretty much every way, except they're not toxic. Some that are even denser than lead. So that's not a problem anymore. They can make stuff that works just like lead, although it's kind of expensive for it right now. But if they mass produced it, it wouldn't be expensive. It's just none of the manufacturers want to get involved in it because they don't want to have to switch to it. But that stubbornness is going to end up biting us in the ass in the long run. And I think they should make it to where if they do ban lead ammo and we have an alternative like self-defense against people and stuff, well, then we try to use that to get steel ammo back for hunting. So I want some steel ammo for steel tipped ammo, like encased in like a steel tip encased in one of the alloys. Get back some good ammo. I'm Robert Edwards. Jar Jar is my lover. Well, you ain't usually here, so I don't usually see your name. You're one of them fly-by-night Johnny-come-latelys. At least you came, I guess. We got Clinton Harrison chiming in here, and he said, Pets and Vets, thoughts on Charter Arms quality and durability. Charter Arms revolvers. Everybody knows I love revolvers, but I've said 100 times I'm not a fan of Charter Arms. And it doesn't have anything to do with durability. I've never seen anything that would make me think they don't last and that they don't work or anything like that. Reliable, and they'll serve you well. I just don't like the way they build them. I don't like that sandwiching process they use, where they use multiple pieces sandwiched together instead of like a unibody with the trigger guard being part of it and stuff. They put the trigger body, they put a little like partial unibody with a trigger guard that sometimes alloy, and when the rest of the gun is steel and stuff. But I just don't like how they do that sandwich together material thing. It's almost like they were like, we want to build a revolver, but we don't want to build the stuff we need to make a revolver. So we're just going to put it together in our garage. And they found a way to do it by just laser cutting out shapes and then putting them together. And I'm not saying it's not ingenious and that it's not a good gun. I just don't care for it. And partially because they do keep them very inexpensive to making them that way, and they don't spend a lot on finishing them because of that. But I think if they put some out that they spent a little more time on the finishing, I would probably be more into them, because they've done some things I really like. Remember, they did the 40 with the special ejector extractor that didn't need to have a moon clip. It kind of like clipped into the rounds so you could eject them without a moon clip. That was promising. I don't know how it went or where it went, but and I like how they do some of the stuff on their barrels, like the pit bull. I would kind of want the pit bull just because it's got a pit bull on the barrel. It'd have you a little picture turnip on the barrel. So I like that. So I'm not saying they're garbage or anything. I just don't care for their manufacturing process. Remember, everybody, you can get your questions, you can get your responses in now for the after chat, the shooting the shit with Yankee, which tonight's topic is going to be, should you carry less than lethal? Is it a good idea or a bad idea? Feel free to let me know via the YouTube super chat. And once we get done with the live chat tonight, we'll move on to that. So feel free. We'll probably run the live chat till about 6:40, and then we will prepare for the shooting the shit. But that was Clint Harrison. And then we got Casey Seawright. Better than seeing wrong, I guess. I'm seeing wrong these days. My eyes are going quick. I've been supposed to wear glasses for years, but I don't like them. They make me look too smart. I don't fit in. And I don't want people thinking I'm smart. He didn't say anything. He just donated via the TYMP. He must have donated via the website. What did Clint Harrison ask? Was that about the charter armed revolvers? I got that. Yes. Okay. I almost forgot. That was Clint Harrison, by the way, who asked for about the charter armed revolvers. Then we got Colin Hipburn. If you remember the one guy got all upset because how I would emphasize his last name, I'd say Dan Loon, and why is he doing that? Oh my God. And then eventually he got mad because I made a joke about Idaho, and he's from Idaho. And he's like, I'm never helping this channel again or coming to your chats or what, because you made a joke about Idaho. I'm like, what is wrong with some people? I guess he's a millennial. I don't know. If you had to use 9mm, what grain bullet you using? Oof. Probably 115, because most of the good loadings are in 115. But don't make me use 9mm. What kind of horrible thing is that to do to somebody? That's a horrible question. It's a horrible, horrible question to make someone even have to contemplate that they would have to carry 9mm. Oof. Yuck. I don't remember that. I don't remember that you made me contemplate that. Paul Bidenbach chimed in, said, "Hail Phil, the Georgia shooter had a P320 and it went off by itself and shot 5 people." Probably that's the story we'll get from some gun channels, I bet. That is probably the story we will get. But he probably he left it sitting on a bench. He wasn't even there when it shot 5 people. if we get the story from certain people. Stephen Shockley chimed in here and said, he just said thumbs up. That's all he said. But he got entry to win the knife and the double super secret giveaway. Let's see where I'm at. Oh, not the Army shooting in Georgia. Also won at the Great Lakes. So I don't know about that one either. I don't know nothing. Tungsten composite ammo if you're rich. Well, I don't want tungsten composite ammo to be expensive. If we mass produced it, probably wouldn't be. Not as expensive, but copper acts just perfect in people. I don't know why people need to think they need to do better than that. That was Stephen Shockley that left the question about, or just left the thumbs up. What else did I see come in here? It was a late response to Stephen Shockley is what I got there, an email from. All right, let's get back over here. Yes, I can't. That's after chat's topic. I can load 124 grain to 115 grain velocities and still be in SAMI pressure specs. Tungsten is very expensive, probably. The TP9 DA is a different model. It is actually double action. Well, I've got questions coming in right now, so let me go look it up. Let me see if I can share the screen here, and we will look it up. It's from Canic. Canic USA. Let me share the window here. Share screen. Window. Canic. Boom. Are you at least 18 years old? Yes. Claim your rebate. I don't want to claim a rebate. Firearms. Let's see. Is there what is it under? California, SF, SFX, SFT Pro. Does anybody know what it's under? No, what do they say? It's TP9. Where do we find the TPs? I don't see the TPs anymore. They're all that Medi or whatever. Medi. Are these all the guns they make now? Do they not make the regular TP? I don't know. Does anybody know the model number I'm supposed to be looking for? If you do, put it in the live chat so I know what I'm looking for here. I'm not seeing one. SFXL. No, that's a different one, I think. SFXL. Let's see if it's under the SFX. Those don't have a decocker. They got a plate where the decocker would be. I don't know what to look for even. Let me see for double action. Okay, I don't want to search for TP9. I searched for double action. Why can't you just show me what the results are for double action? It's just spinning. It did not like the word double action. There we go. TP9 Elite SC. Well, that ain't it. This is a bunch of other stuff too. I'm starting to wonder if this thing still exists. Does it still exist? Well, I tried. If someone can tell me what I'm actually looking for, maybe I'll try again. But let's get over here and see what we got coming in. Stephen Shockley was the last super chat over here. Let me see if it still is. We're almost out of time. We got about 5 minutes. Mikey D chimed in. Maybe he got us some details on the shootings. Another stab at a knife. LOL for shits and giggles. Why would you giggle about being stabbed? It's some sort of weirdness there. TP9 double action single. I don't know if they make that anymore. Let me just do a web search for Canic TP9 double action. Is it still available? Hold on, I'll show it here if it's still available. Their website is slow, or else it's just my feed is slow because I got to rely on Elon Musk for internet. He gets moody sometimes and slows it down. It's not coming up, but I don't know if it's still available. It says approved for sale in Massachusetts. But yeah, it's being real slow about loading. So I'll come back in a minute. I hope it's not fucking up my other stuff. All right, we're all caught up over here. And we're all caught up over here. I don't see any questions I haven't answered yet. Many maybe stabbed by a 9mm just bounces off. It does usually just bounce off, so you don't usually have to worry about that. All right, we got 3 more minutes, and then we're going to close this up and go to the shooting the shit with Yankee. Remember, today's topic is, should you carry less than lethal? Is it a good idea or a bad idea? So weigh in via the YouTube super chat with what you think. We'll get to those as soon as we switch over to the other chat. All right, let's get over here. I need to make little intros to each chat so that I can put them in there and have them to use, I guess. Tungsten is $60 per kilogram. Copper is $9.75 per kilogram. Lead is $125 per kilogram. And what's your point? Doesn't and how many kilograms are in each bullet? So what would that be in price difference between bullet and bullet? Like if you had a standard size 9mm bullet, figure out what it would cost for, and tungsten, we know it's expensive now, but if it was being mass produced in any way, and they have polymers other than tungsten that behaves just like wet lead. I saw it in a NASA thing. Let's see here. Where are we? Transactions. Mikey D was our last one. Someone sent a link to I already found a link to it. It's just, I don't know if it's still available. It's not listed under their current firearms. It does have the decocker button. Let me show it here. Thomas Conway sent me a link to it. But top mounted decocker button allows the pistol to be fired in double action. Okay, well, see, that's just like the AS model from, in fact, that's a clone of the AS model from Walther. Works pretty much the exact same way. That would be interesting if someone wanted to carry those. Why didn't they get something like that for the military? Oh, I just don't think Canic's probably a big enough manufacturer. And does anybody know if that's still available, or is that an old gun? Because, you know, they keep stuff on their websites that isn't really being manufactured anymore. So if anybody knows, let me know. I think we are done. Make sure we're caught up with all the super chats over here. And we will do the knife drawing. Stick around till after the shooting the shit. We'll do the knife drawing then at the end. You don't got to be present to win. So just check back later, see if you won, if you don't want to stick around. But we'll do that drawing at the end. And for now, we're going to go ahead and end the shooting the shit. Or no, this is America Guns and Freedom. We're going to end America Guns and Freedom right now. Thanks everybody for participating, especially people who helped support the channel, people who got entries into the drawings. I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. The pets appreciate it. The vets, I don't know. They know. The pets don't know either. But the ones we do help directly, they know. I think they know. So thanks everybody for helping out. I appreciate it. I hope to see everybody here again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.